Hello, welcome back to week 2. This is Burahla here. In this second week, we are going to start with close reading. Close reading is a type of reading where you are really looking for what the author intended and how the words are being used on the page to give you meaning from the story. Close reading can be fun, but it's probably different than the type of pleasure reading that you might be used to. For example, when you are reading on the train or the bus or the tramway. With close reading, you are really trying to relate the reading to writing that you are eventually going to do. So you are reading in order to see patterns, symbols, get ideas about what you might want to write about in the future. And also to really uncover a lot of these interesting ideas and threads of meaning that run through a story. On the doctorate entrance exam, you are going to be asked, in fact, in a very short span of time, to look at a passage of literature and render some kind of interpretation of that literature. And so you need to get into the practice of close reading, of reading beyond just what the story or plotline is of that passage, and seeing what are the symbols, what kinds of alliteration or other kinds of language use is the author employing in order to get his or her point across. There are several rules for close reading that you can use when you are preparing for the exam. One of them is annotation. I do really highly recommend that you get into the habit of annotating your work, and this is whether you read on paper books or on the screen using ebooks. So when you start reading on a paper book, get a pencil or an ebook, use the tools available to you, start reading and enter into a dialogue with the author. Write your reactions in the margins. You can use smiley faces or exclamation points and any kind of coding that you want to use. Ask questions. There's a lot of ways you can use annotations, but those are really going to help you when you go back, hopefully, to reread the text again. These annotations come in handy, especially when you are going to write. You can see what your reactions were and what parts of the book intrigued you the most. I use underlining as a really quick way to draw my attention to a word or phrase that I think might be important to the meaning of the book. Underlining doesn't interrupt the flow of your reading. You can keep reading, but a quick underline will really help you in your review process. Be careful, however, there is a tendency sometimes to go overboard and start underlining everything, because everything seems significant and important. What that should tell you is that you are not reading close enough. If everything is as important as the other thing you read, then you need to go back and start sorting out what's really important here. First impressions are really important for close reading. Take a close look at the title. That's the best place to start, of course, but also the first paragraph. In Gothic literature, you are going to find the first paragraph often presents the setting. As we talked about before, an important character in the story. It's going to give you an impression of what's to come. And it's going to probably introduce an important symbol or an important character right off. So make sure that you open that book, read that first paragraph, and think about what is this book going to be about. Make predictions and interrogate in the text. Writing a question or two will really help you there. Thank you very much for listening, and see you in the next lesson.